Hello and welcome back to my channel, and welcome to another video. If you are new to this channel, my name is Frank Zhu, and I'm a college professor teaching sociology, history, and philosophy. I'm also an award-winning landscape photographer. If you are a subscriber to this channel, you know that quite a few of my videos are about philosophy. I have discussed a variety of philosophical topics, presenting different theories and analyzing different points of view and expressing my own views and opinions. Many of those videos were analytical and theoretical. But today's video will be simpler. Instead of talking about complicated things, I'm going to focus on the basics of studying and doing philosophy. Although many of us know very little about the term philosophy and even less about the history of philosophy, we are not total strangers to philosophy, because philosophy starts with wondering about simple and everyday things, and every one of us has wondered about those things. For example, we wonder about why we are here, about who we really are, about whether God exists, and what God is like. Is God male or female, old or young? Why do we suffer from pain, evil, and sorrow? We wonder whether there is a life after death. Is there true love? We want to know what the proper balance is between serving others and serving ourselves. Whether suicide, abortion, or euthanasia can be justified. In fact, we have been wondering about those questions since the very beginning of our lives. Asking and trying to answer those questions makes up what we call philosophy. Which is why I keep saying that philosophy is everywhere and that every one of us, to some extent, is a philosopher. Undoubtedly, some of us do philosophy more persistently and more diligently than others. Their deeper engagement in critical thinking and logical analysis has enabled them to develop theories and write books. As a result, they have become famous. So famous that people call them philosophers. It is true that many of us have already had answers to some of those questions. For example, we accepted many of our religious, political, and moral beliefs when we were children and could not yet think for ourselves. When we do philosophy, we examine these beliefs. The aim is not to reject those beliefs, but to learn why we hold them and to ask whether we have good reasons to continue holding them. By doing this, we make our basic beliefs about reality and life our own. If you have watched my philosophy videos, you may have noticed that I keep saying the term doing philosophy. Sometimes I use another term, philosophizing. And that's because philosophy is an activity. In this respect, it differs from other academic subjects. Unlike some other subjects, philosophy does not consist of a lot of information or theories. Of course, there is no doubt that philosophers have developed many theories and views, and I have discussed and analyzed some of them. However, which is very important to keep in mind, philosophical theories are the products of philosophy, not philosophy itself. The point of studying theories is not just to memorize them. Instead, we study them in order to use them as an aid to help us learn how to do philosophy. By seeing how the best philosophers have done philosophy, and by considering their views, we can better understand what philosophizing is. More importantly, we can use their insights to shed light on our own philosophical journey. It is the journey or the activity that is important. Philosophical theories are only the products we bring back from our journey. Doing philosophy is hard in the sense that it involves questioning the most basic beliefs we have developed and held about ourselves and the world around us. In doing philosophy, we may find ourselves thinking in a direction that society does not support. It is possible that we may develop views and opinions that others around us find strange or simply reject. By the way, I made a video about the eccentric behavior of some great philosophers. Please check it out if you are interested. Philosophy is hard for another reason. It requires us to think critically, consistently, and carefully about our fundamental beliefs. We may feel uncomfortable when asked to systematically and logically question and criticize views that we have always accepted. For example, if you are a religious person, you will not feel comfortable being asked to examine or even question the existence of God. However, we must keep in mind that to do philosophy is to love wisdom and to become wise. It requires intellectual discipline and the hard work of reasoning as carefully and logically as we can. Why should we study philosophy when so many more practical needs are pressing in on us? We know that we have to spend time studying those subjects that will provide the knowledge and skills which are needed to get a job or succeed in a career. We each need a job or a career to get along, to earn our living and meet our basic needs. But why should we spend time and make efforts studying philosophy? Well, I have made videos in the past explaining why we should study philosophy. Today, I want to elaborate a little bit on one point. Doing philosophy helps us develop critical thinking skills, which are needed to get ahead in every area of our education and career. In fact, the importance and value of good reasoning and critical thinking cannot be over-exaggerated. Every day, we are bombarded by commercial advertisements, political controversies, social media misinformation or disinformation, claims about climate change, arguments about the morality of abortion, assertions about the evils of immigrations, and countless other claims and counterclaims, arguments and counter-arguments. Politicians tell us what they think our country needs and try to convince us to vote for them. Companies try to persuade us to buy their products. News commentators, bloggers, and editorials try to influence our thinking. Every day, we hear some people give us warnings about the future, while others argue that the warnings are exaggerated. Without the ability to think critically, to reason well, and evaluate the reasoning of others, we are vulnerable to all these different interests, and we are likely to do what they tell us to do and think what they tell us to think. If we are able to defend ourselves against the countless attempts at persuasion that surround us every moment of every day, we must learn how to evaluate the many claims and arguments they hurl at us. Philosophy, with its ability to instill good reasoning skills, will be of invaluable help as you try to navigate your way through these numerous attempts to sway your thinking and your decisions. Well, I think that is all for today. Thank you for watching this video. And if you liked it, please don't forget to give me a thumb up. Hopefully, I will see you in the next video.